press package. We shall be, we remember in previous edition, we did announce a 2 days training workshop that is presently going on, and this workshop is, we are at the closing end of the workshop, and this workshop is to empower the staff of the Ocean City Radio, and as we told you, it is masterminded by a human assistance civil society organization based in Douala, known as Cameroon Link, short CamLink. And today, before the close of the workshop, we give the privilege, we have the head, the leader of this organization, the chief executive officer, or the main man who is piloting the affairs of the organization in Cameroon. He is Mr. James Achanyi-Fontem. He is a senior health journalist and a communicator and a communication consultant. You know, he has been working in Cameroon and as a senior health journalist, as a broadcaster with Cameroon Radio Television, even Radio Cameroon. So he's here. It's a privilege to have him here. He's the major resource person, the coordinator of this program and of this workshop. And we remind you of a 5-day workshop, 5 days workshop that took place in January, that involved community radio stations in the southwest and littoral, where we had training on that is story designing, community learning, distance learning, and other issues with the health of the mother and child. The focus of course is mother and child health care. It's a pleasure we shall be having. He is presently with us in the studio today in this special edition of Press Package. We shall be back, and when we come back, we shall listen to him and we shall cut across boiling issues that involve the health of our community, journalism and health. You are welcome back. Africa now, Africa. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Africa. Now we Good morning once more and welcome back. We get straight away. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Richard.
It's a pleasure having you here in the studio despite your tax schedule, and the entire community of Pumba wish to say good morning once more.
Good morning to listeners of Ocean City Radio. And I want to say it's a coincidence with this project we are doing is being supported by the Commonwealth, and your radio station is situated at the Commonwealth Avenue in Kumba. Is that not a coincidence?
It's a coincidence.
A good one,
a good one, really. Yeah. You were in Kumba, very much involved in this Commonwealth community learning story design program, and equally workshop to train to be station managers, editor-in-chief of selected media houses, community radio station based in the littoral and the southwest region, and this training took place in January. The aim of that workshop, that training workshop?
I did explain to the participants that the Commonwealth is a family of countries, big countries and developing countries, and the aim of the Commonwealth is to get those who are underprivileged, developing countries, to increase their skills in doing things in such a way that they can improve on their well-being.
Okay.
And you would realize that the subject we dealt with or tackled the issue of mother and child care. And this falls within the Healthy Community initiative of the Commonwealth of Learning. What they are trying to do is to use the community radio stations, which are proximity radios, to educate the population on some of the issues that surround them, which they may be neglecting. Because I did observe that some of the health problems we have don't really need money.
Yes.
And if you have the right information from the right source, you will change your way of doing things. And obviously the environment would be clean and well-being would be automatic. So we are doing this program, first of all, to educate, to motivate the population to be part of the conception of the program, and they should participate fully. And during the program, we should be able to demonstrate a few things in a way that this demonstration acts like testimony. And when we should have done these 3 steps, you will find that we are promoting rights, and these rights are virtually the rights of the mother and the child. We did also observe that the issue of mother and child health care was brought up because government is not investing in that sector, and we all know that government cannot do everything, and if they are not doing things in some of the areas we look to be crucial, we should start it ourselves.
You just made mention about the government. I just wanted to draw your attention on one aspect. The policies of the states, the government of Cameroon and other African countries. I don't know if priorities are given to the mother and the child in certain unbearable conditions. For example, say during emergencies or like disaster, flood. For example, in the north, we had a flood, and what was the position of the government to protect, say, breastfeeding mothers or women who are pregnant, since most of
We did carry an investigation during those periods, and we realized that there was a lot of unpreparedness. First of all, handling emergencies is an issue which is under the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Development. And the ministry in charge of coordinating these activities cannot do it without the support of other ministries like health. Unfortunately, there isn't good circulation of information amongst the ministries, and since emergencies are situations that are sometimes politically hard to tackle when they come up, you realize that some of the results or the decisions to fight those emergencies are not immediate. We are talking here about mother and child health care, and when we're talking about mother and child health care, we're talking of the baby who is being fed when there is an emergency. There are very few arrangements that have been done, and that's why we're calling on radio, community radios, to call on the attention of the government to include that on the agenda for development, because if we do not protect the rights of our babies today, we are going just the wrong way, because these babies are going to be the leaders of tomorrow, and we should have people who take over from us with a healthy condition. Yeah. So in other countries, they have emergency plans that are very active.
For those situations?
For all situations. Okay. For all situations. But unfortunately, emergencies in Cameroon have not been classified, and there is always unpreparedness. You will see even in Yaoundé, there are floods in the central town of the city of Yaoundé, and sometimes when these floods come, everybody is embarrassed. Unlike these are things that occur regularly, and solutions could have been looked for them, because if the drainage systems are closed and it creates floods, is it something new for the population or the council or the city council? I think it needs a good planning and execution of some of those projects.
We look at the situation of the handicapped persons in the country, and it is truism that these are natural things that do happen in our society, where the visually impaired, those who are blind, those who are deaf, they happen to become pregnant and give to birth babies. Yeah. And equally, some of the mental handicapped, they are married, they have children. What advice can such situation?
The situation of the handicap falls under the Ministry of Social Affairs, and I have worked with the handicapped, and one surprising thing is that most of the handicaps don't identify themselves. If you look at some do not have ID cards. And you know, in the process of assistance or development where you need aid, they cannot give aid to somebody they cannot identify.
Okay.
And most of these handicapped too, some of them are illiterate, though some are really very literate. So there is a lack of organization of the handicapped. But it doesn't mean that because they are not organized, they should not be assisted. I think it is the role of the government to make sure that if they discover a handicapped person in a community, they should follow up and identify the family and try to identify this person and carry an investigation on the needs of that handicap. While we were doing this training, we sent broadcasters on the field and they had to interview some of the handicapped persons, and we were surprised with the responses they gave, and we discovered that there were handicapped persons who have twins, and they are even blind, that have double twins, which means in 2 births they have 4 children. You can imagine that such a person would really not bring up these children well if there is no assistance from government or from some humanitarian groups. So we call on those who take decisions to follow up and make sure that these people are part of the community, they are part of our population, and they have their rights. They should be given their rights and the right of protection. And I would invite those who are in Kumba to listen to the program that Ocean City Radio did, which was breastfeeding is emergency, and we targeted some of these people to see how they manage their situations.
Breastfeeding is very important, mother, child. Could you tell us in brief, summary, the nature importance of breastfeeding your child, say especially for 6 months?
Well, I just have to tell the mothers and the men that breastfeeding is a natural act. You see, when a woman is born, she develops the breast. The breast is a store for the food of the baby, and that is the key job for the breast. So if you have breast and you have your baby and you have milk and you do not give this milk to your baby, know that you are violating the rights of your baby. And we want to tell some of those who think that there should be special environments where mothers should breastfeed. In Africa, breastfeeding is natural. So mothers should breastfeed their children on demand. And we insist on exclusive breastfeeding because the first 6 months are months that help in the development of the baby. We see here that when the baby is born, the role of the midwife is to start encouraging attachment. This attachment is encouraged by putting the baby on the stomach of the mother. And you realize that when a baby is born, that baby cries and says, well, where am I? Because the baby was in the stomach and the temperature of the mother was what was comforting that baby. And when the baby comes out to air and gets the first breath, the cool environment makes the baby to cry, and when the midwife puts the baby on the stomach of the mother, the heat on the mother recomforts this baby. You see this baby stops crying immediately because the child is brought down to confidence. And when this is done, you realize that you don't need to obligate the baby to go to the breast. The baby will crawl to the breast where the breast is within the next 1 hour. And it's when the baby does this gesture and arrives at the breast, that the hormone that produces milk is triggered. And the first milk that comes out is colostrum. Colostrum is yellow in color. Our grandmothers used to throw it saying that it's dirty milk. But science has proven that it is the very important milk that triggers the brain of the baby, and it also encourages recognition. If you give that milk to your baby, it helps to evacuate the meconium, the black sheet that the baby generally puts out after birth as the first excretors. And if this is not done, what generally would happen, and most mothers would understand this, the child would have some pains in the stomach and will be complaining, and when a child has those type of problems, the child would not obviously feed well, and it would put the mother in a very uncomfortable and stressful situation. We should also tell mothers that mothers that are stressed may be surprised that their milk will not flow, because we encourage the men to encourage the mothers to breastfeed, and to do this encouragement, the men should be able to make food readily available for this mother who has just given birth, because the other tasks in the house remain and the baby has come. In Africa, baby care is not considered as a job, but in Europe it is a job, and in Europe mothers are having 6 months maternity leave, and the role of the father is to assist the mother in doing some of the household small jobs like breaking firewood, and why not cooking, making breakfast or washing plates. When you wash plates, it doesn't change you anything, because those same plates are the same plates that you are using on the table. And I think if you are washing plates and your children see you washing plates, they will understand that you are telling them that you cannot eat in dirty plates, and hygiene and sanitation, we all know, is very important. Then there is another aspect when we talk of exclusive breastfeeding. We say the mother should feed on demand and exclusively. Why? Because within the first 6 months, if that baby is breastfed, the family will not spend on artificial feeding. And most mothers have complained that they do not have enough milk. I should tell them here that a mother should not complain that she does not have much milk. When the more the baby feeds, the more milk is produced. So if you don't feed your baby, you should be able to understand that your milk will not flow. And those mothers who think that they will not breastfeed because the breasts are going to be floppy, I should tell them that it's when you breastfeed that your breast even becomes more beautiful, because it swells, and people like breasts that are full. And if the milk is there, your baby grows healthy, grows strong. And one natural aspect we always insist is that human milk is made for humans. So, and this human milk develops the brain of the baby and makes the baby to grow intelligently. You will see that the baby already at 6 months, if a different mother comes to take the baby cries, because the baby already recognizes the mother. And some babies are being stolen without any disturbance, because those babies are fed with formula, so they lack that recognition. They even don't know what is happening. It's difficult to steal a baby that is breastfed intensively. So we say this so that the mothers who are listening to Ocean City Radio, if they were not breastfeeding, they should change and breastfeed, because there is no family that would not like an intelligent child. Yes, every father, every parent would want to see the child doing well in school, having retention. And one other advantage is that those babies that breastfeed exclusively, they do not fall sick regularly. And even when they fall sick, they get well very quickly. Yeah. So that makes a difference. You don't spend any money. within the first 6 months, because when the child is already 6 months, you will be adding complementary foods. And this complementary foods is still not market powder.
Okay.
It is a food that you are eating in the house, that you have to make it in such a way that it should be soft for the baby to be able to swallow. And you can flavor this food with fruits, oranges, pineapples, and bananas.